What was it like, and what has it been like over the last 8 or so years in forming that dynamic with them? Was it natural? Was it something you had to kind of get used to, or was it just you guys clicked and
I
it hit
mean,
it
in a
off?
lot of ways, we did just click, but we were also really young in a lot of ways. And, I think that for me personally, as an artist, and maybe more so just as a person, just as
Yeah,
like a being on this planet right now,
yeah,
I went through this big self realization over the last, let's say, like 5 years, really, of whenever I was a kid, man, I loved my father. But the world I was raised in kind of raised me to want to be a rock star, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. All that seemed really cool to me. And then in college, I had some awesome friends, and that was just all about. We just all daydreamed about being, I don't know, the Backstreet Boys and Boys
sure.
to Men or Justin Bieber. Not, just like that idea of wanting to be a rock star. Just
Yep,
this really ego-based dream, right? That I was
yep,
just raised as a kid. Nobody told me that wouldn't fulfill me, right?
right.
So so as a and I think that I'm not the only one. I think Home Free as a whole, we all sort of came from that, and that was sort of why we were doing it together. We loved it. We loved the music, but we also just like loved being in the spotlight.
Yeah,
And so we all had a lot of growing to do. And in the beginning, in particular, we've always gotten along, but there was a weird moment where we all weren't on the same page necessarily. And I'll never forget our manager Luke Pierce brought in a dear friend of his that he went to college with, or I should say that his business partner and college fraternity brother, his best friend in college, or one of his best friends in college, is a Fortune 500 executive coach. So he
yeah,
teaches boards how to get along and work together better
yeah.
to better improve their workflow and the environment. So he came in and did a whole day two with us. Well, over time it would end up being 4 or 5 days. But he came in and we had a whole like come to Jesus moment, quote unquote, in New York City while we were there. And they laid it all out and really opened us up in a way that we hadn't before, and gave us a lot of tools to communicate. In a way, it was like a group therapy session,
Yeah,
which I'm in therapy now and have been for several years, and I'm a big proponent of like having someone professional help you have a look at your mental health.
yeah, yeah.
It really helps. So yeah, so in the beginning, we definitely did have some. Just we were just in different places, and everybody's interests were in. It's funny, like I'll never forget that we had this like big picture of all of us had to like basically draw out like a big picture. I'm really like putting this in a short, concise way, but everybody had to draw out a big picture of like what was going on in their life, and not one of us put Home Free as it, and it was like
Yeah,
all we did any day, And he was like, "This
yeah,
is really telling to me, guys. Like none of us were truly sort of bought into it." And then that day we were all like, "You know what? We're here. Let's make the most of it." And ever
right.
since then, man, it's just been the most supportive environment. Don't get me wrong, we argue sometimes about creative ideas and tour schedules, but for the most part we're just a really supportive group of guys, and the pandemic has really proven that more so. Tim
Yeah,
is so supportive of everybody else. I'm so supportive of everybody else. Everybody has their own things going on the side, but we're all so invested in the band in the long run. So it's really cool to think that we can all be in this band and all be solo artists and keep up with it all at the same time. It's a pretty exciting, day to be alive, really, because that was unheard of,
yeah.
10 years ago. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Thank you guys for watching this clip from my interview with Home Freeze Austin Brown. If you want to watch the full interview, there should be a link to it on your screen right now. You can watch the whole thing. Thank you guys for watching. Take it in, soak it up. Bye.